Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm on my live making ghee today. Just waiting for people to hop on. Thank you for hopping on. It won't be too long today, hopefully. I know it's a Saturday afternoon in most places and people are very busy today, so we're going to try and do this. And I'm using my Instant Pot today. I'm not doing stovetop, so... Oh, we have some people logged in. Hello, I'm going to put my glasses on. Hi, Lizzie. Hi. Thanks for logging in. So I think I'm going to get started because, like I said, I do want to make sure that we get all of the information in as well. And so first things first, I'm dedicating this to my sister-in-law Lucy because I'm making ghee for her. And I've had conversations with my mum all week because she's been saying, oh, Lucy needs ghee. I'm going to make some ghee for her. And I said, no, Mum, leave it with me. I have to make it. She goes, no, I'll make it. So all week we've had these conversations back and forth. And it's been funny because my mum usually just whips it up. I said, Mum, just wait, please. Let me just make it for her. She's going to bring me the butter and we're going to make it. So that's what we've been up to. And so so welcome everybody for this ghee making demonstration. I'm just somewhat winging it. I've never done this before where I've been live and doing cooking, so let's see what happens. It's like live TV. But like I said, I'm going to make it in an Instant Pot. This is where I normally make it. If you have an Instant Pot, fantastic. I hope that you have that ready. And if you have it on your stove top, that's awesome too. We're going to start off with a medium heat, and then we're going to go down to a little bit lower, like medium to low. So that's how we usually do it. So first things first, I'm going to light. So in Ayurveda, we set up our kitchen space, right? No matter if we're going to cook a meal for the family or we're going to make something like this in preparation for meals. It's a really good idea, as much as you can remember, if you're not in a hurry, to clean up your workspace and make sure everything is nice and clean, and make sure your hair and jewelry, everything is... oh, where's my elastic? There it is. So I don't wear rings when I'm cooking. I'm just going to put my hair back because that's something that is quite common. My hair just like seems to do whatever it wants to do. So I'm just going to go off to the side and get rid of my hair and wash my hands. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to light a candle, which I do love to do when I'm cooking, because for Ayurveda, Agni, one of the elements, is super important in the kitchen. So it's lovely to light a candle while we cook. And so that actually honors one of the elements, and the water, washing of the hands, honors water, one of the elements. So I have that candle over here. I made myself a cup of tea, and I'm going to switch on my Instant Pot. I don't know if you can see it there. I'm going to switch off the lid. I'm going to switch it on. It's like on a medium heat right now, and I put it on the saute setting. So that's the medium heat. Another thing that we do in cooking, if you really love to cook in the kitchen and it's just kind of like next level, is either say some type of mantra at the start of your cooking, or you can have it on in the background, or some uplifting music. In the evenings when I cook dinner, I do have one of our part, like it's a prayer, it's a Sikhi prayer, it's called Rera Sab. I have that playing most times when I can remember to play it, I do. But in terms of the Ayurveda way or style of cooking, it's Annapurna chant, it's the Annapurna mantra, and that is the goddess of giver of food for the world. And it's a very nice chant mantra that people do say when they're cooking, and that's something really nice to do when you're going to be doing any type of cooking in the kitchen, because it really brings in that vibe of just goodness and wholeness, and you're bringing that energy into your cooking. So I'm going to start. I have 2 blocks of butter. So if anyone's following along or joining me with making ghee, so I'm doing it with 2 pounds of butter today. You can do it with 1 or 2. I always recommend 2 because we're going to try and fill this mason jar right here. Okay, so that will probably work. If you do 1 pound, you can get the smaller mason jar. So I'm going to see what happens when we finish up here, where we're at with the 2 pounds. And I just want to show you, this is how I keep my ghee right now. I'm storing it like this. This is my ghee that I've made. And this is a very, very old, it's called a gadvi. We call it gadvi. And this is actually my granddad's gadvi, my pittaji, the one I talk about, my dad's dad. It was, my dad bought this back from India when he passed and gave it to me. And I cherish it. So I still have it all these years later. And this is where I store my ghee. Okay, so this is getting warm. It's on. And I'm going to, this is full on live. I'm going to put this into the Instant Pot. So 2 of these are going in. Oh dear. Some of that. So there goes 1. Okay, the sizzle already. Sometimes I take them straight out of the freezer and I don't even let the butter defrost, and I just put it straight in, and that works too. So you don't have to have it at room temperature or anything like that, or straight from the fridge. Like you can do whichever way is better for you. So there's the second one, and I'll just show you what it looks like that. And I have a wooden spoon, so I'm just going to stir it around. Now, I just want you to be aware that it can splash. Like this is a deep pot, so we're okay with the 2. So we have to be super careful. So sometimes, I mean, if you're wearing something that you're wanting to preserve, like wear an apron, and then you don't get oil, because ghee is very hard to get off your clothes. So be super careful about that. So right now the ghee is melting. I don't know if you can see that. Hi everybody. Hi Amy, Harmon, Susanna. Okay, so there we go. So we're melting the ghee right now, and we're just going to let it do its thing. And like I said, once the ghee is ready to be poured, you can see? Okay, good. This is the metal strainer I was talking about. Sorry, so I should have mentioned that. So it's just like a tea strainer. And then I also have cheesecloth. So if you don't have a tea strainer, you can use cheesecloth as well. So, or you can use both just to really make the difference. So we have that. That's my ghee, how it looks right now. So I'm going to put that off to the side. And then while we're waiting for the ghee to melt, if anybody has any comments or anything that they would like to drop in the chat, please feel free to do that. In the meantime, I will just give you a few, I guess, few facts, I guess, about ghee and why ghee is so important in Ayurveda. And really, it's like considered a magic bullet or liquid gold. And when butter is on sale, that's when you see a lot of Indian families go out and get butter, because they're going to be going home to make ghee. So once you decide that you want to make this, always make sure you are watching the sales for butter, because it's good to stock up and then keep them in the freezer for when you do need them. So that's the first thing I'd like to say. And I'm just going to grab some of my notes. You know, in terms of the scientific evidence behind ghee and why it's so important, and why there's been such a contradiction between dairy fats, you know, the Western way of looking at things, and how dairy fat was also something that was contributing to high cholesterol, and you know, people were advised to avoid it. The issue stems from the ancient wisdom of the Eastern wisdom of Ayurveda was never really based in Western science. It was more based in Eastern science. So, you know, there was a little bit of a disconnect there. However, there's been lots and lots of research, lots of scientific-based studies that have been done in the West about ghee and about the benefits of ghee. So I really think that for people to really feel comfortable eating ghee for themselves, I would like you to go and actually research it yourself, because me telling you that it's great for our body, and I can tell you all of the things that I've learned and all the things that I know, it's still not the same as someone actually going out and actually researching it. But I could point you to some resources in the right direction, like the National Institutes of Health, and there's been some, you know, amazing scientific studies. Like this is the Journal of Ayurveda and Integrative Medicine, where they've done all kinds of studies, and they literally said that within Ayurveda texts, ghee as a cognitive benefit is at the top. Like it's been discussed and researched the most. So as for brain health, that's for brain health. So that, in terms of the Western way of looking at science, when we look at aging, dementia, Alzheimer's, and all of these these types of neurodegenerative diseases that are taking place in our aging population, and it's getting younger and younger now, they have made these, you know, they've made this realization that ghee is actually one of the best healthy fats, is a great healthy fat for that, for actually, you know, warding off neurodegenerative disease. And so for that alone, for brain health alone, this is actually a wonderful, you know, type of fat to incorporate within our cooking in our kitchen. My ghee is nearly melted. My 2 blocks of butter are nearly melted. I don't know how everybody else's are. Someone's saying that they're putting ghee in their coffee. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to basically mention, was that there are many ways, many uses of ghee in your day-to-day cooking, and day-to-day use, I should say, not just cooking. So ghee is not just used in cooking in Ayurveda. Ghee is used in several different ways. So one of the ways I use ghee is, like, I love my coffee in the morning. So I'll make my coffee, but I'll put half a teaspoon to 3/4 of a teaspoon of ghee in the coffee, stir it as the coffee's dripping. And I really enjoy that. So that's my first part of the day, because coffee is very drying. So as you're lubricating yourself on the inside by adding the ghee, and that's a great way to incorporate ghee into your body first thing in the morning. Another way of adding ghee is, like, you can add it to a soup, like a dollop. You can add it on top of your oatmeal, a dollop. You can bake with it. So, you know, any baking that calls for butter or a fat, like, you can use ghee instead. You can fry eggs with it. Like, you can make your scrambled eggs or omelets and just add a little bit of ghee into the pan and let it melt. And it has a high smoking point, so we're good with that too. Like, we don't have to worry about it burning quickly. And And in not just in cooking, there are other ways that we can use ghee. Is we use it in on our skin itself. You can use a little bit on your skin as a moisturizer. So a lot of people use it in this on their skin. They use it in panchakarma, which is a type of a detox, Ayurvedic detox that people do, especially people who have quite a few health issues and they really need to get to basics and do a detox. Like it's an intensive couple of weeks. But ghee is very much used in that, and it's a carrier oil as well. So it actually helps carry herbs into the body, and it doesn't change its own constitution. So this is actually my butter's melted, and it's just somewhat boiling. So I'm actually going to try and see if I can bring it down a little bit. There we go. So I've just brought it down a little bit, and it's like frothing already. Mine is already frothing. So if other people are looking at theirs and yours is frothing, that's excellent. So where was I? Yes, used on the skin as a moisturizer, and used in panchakarma and detoxing with different things. And the other thing I wanted to mention was, there's lots of benefits which I will still go through, but as we're doing this, as we're melting this butter, I just want to tell you how there's 3 different levels of the butter, how there's 3 different things in here. So there's the froth on top, there's the melted butter in the middle, and then right at the bottom, what's going to start happening is there's going to be some solids forming on the bottom of the pan. And all of these are important. So we're going to eventually, the froth, which is the whey, that is going to be removed. So actually, so that is the water part of the butter. So that's the moisture out of the butter that is going to be released now. So we do not want any moisture in ghee. That's why we do this. That's why we melt this. That's why it's called clarified butter. Clarified butter is when the water or the moisture is removed. And butter actually contains about 15% water. So that's what we're removing right now. So that's why when I say 1 block of butter, it's going to go down to a little bit less. So that's why, because the proteins are going to be removed as well as the moisture is going to be removed. So that's what the froth is for. The froth is going to be just floating around on top and just keep going. And then I don't have to keep stirring it. I can just leave it like this. So I'll just leave it like that. And then at the bottom of where the butter is, that is the milk solids. So those are the proteins. So that's the casein that's down there, and the lactose, which is the sugar. So that is what's going to be kind of like just a little crustacean on the bottom of the pan. And it gets dark, but don't worry, it's not going to burn anything. It's just basically going down to the bottom of the pan. So that's the thing that people are, with those types of issues who are lactose intolerant, and a lot of people are, and they don't realize that's where the lactose, then that disappears as well. So that's why ghee is excellent for people who are lactose intolerant, because there is no lactose in it and there's no casein in it. So there's no the protein, the milk solids. So that's the milk solids at the bottom of the pan that's gone at the bottom. So that's why we are doing this. We're doing this process, right, of this ghee, making this ghee. So what happens is once we've gotten rid of the froth and we've gotten rid of the milk solids, what's left is butterfat. So that's all that's left is the butterfat, and that's the purest form, right? That's the purest thing that we've got here. And like I said, it's known as liquid gold in a lot of places. When you store it, you make sure you store it in a very dry, no moisture, there should be no water in there. When you're using it, make sure you have a dry spoon, and no water should be getting into it. It turns rancid, it will be sour smelling, foul smelling, and mold will start growing. So we don't want that. So be very careful when we actually use it, that we use it with a clean, dry spoon. So we've reduced the heat to a medium low, and it's still, I don't know who else is. Hi, Lucy. I just told you, I told everybody at the beginning, I'm making this for you. And I don't know if you know, but me and my mum have been having conversations all week because she's been saying she wanted to make some for you. And I kept putting her off and saying, no, I'm making it because I'm making a video. I just told her I was making a video. So anyway, so that's what's happening. Exactly. So what else are we doing here? Is there anybody who would like to ask any questions? I just want to give you some, how about I give you some health benefits of ghee. Health benefits of ghee. Here we go. Wow, there's so many. Like I know some of them off the top of my head. Okay, it's very nutrient rich. So it's actually very high, quite high in fat-soluble vitamins such as A, D, E, and K, which are important for various bodily functions, especially for vision, immunity, and bone health. Yes, benefits. Oh, what benefits have I noticed? You know, I do a combination of things, so I'm not exactly sure if it would be the ghee itself, but I would say that because I use it every day, and I've been using it, I would say, for about a year, very regularly. And, you know, along with so many other lifestyle changes, that's a really important point, Amy, that with many lifestyle choices that we make, this is not the be-all and end-all. It's not like we're going to be able to continue to live the lifestyle that we already have, and then we add ghee, and now we're going to be, you know, better in all aspects. But it's just one tool. It's one tool in the toolbox of different things that we can use. And the only reason why I picked ghee to make today is because everybody's very familiar with things like olive oil and coconut oil and avocado oil. And people are very familiar and very comfortable with using that in their cooking. And people have no issues with, you know, knowing that it's a good fat to use in cooking. But for some reason, ghee has been like this, I guess, secret, like a really good secret, I would say, that not many people are aware of. So my intention is to say, hey, here's another way that you can incorporate this. You can incorporate this in your Indian cooking. You can incorporate it as a skin moisturizer. You can incorporate it, like I said, in your drinks, in your coffee, in your baking, in your frying like your eggs, and like a stovetop sauteing, I should say, roasting vegetables, soups, stews, just using it as well. So in terms of the benefits are amazing. Like, so antioxidants, rich in antioxidants. They help neutralize free radicals. So that helps us against cell damage. So, you know, as we age, you know, we have a lot of cell damage over the years. So with our inside our body. So this is going to be really helpful for that. It's rich in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which is so important for heart health, and help reduce inflammation. Now, like as I was saying back in the beginning, Western medicine was very much into, you can't eat dairy fats because dairy fat's going to cause high cholesterol and heart disease. Well, this is not the thing that causes heart disease. There are many, many factors that go into play to cause heart disease. So as part of a balanced diet, using ghee is really quite okay, like quite normal and quite good. So that's what I would suggest about that. It also has something called butyric acid. Butyric acid is a short chain fatty acid, and that helps support gut health and also has anti-inflammatory benefits as well. So that is for the scientists out there. Butyric acid, so butyric. That's one. That's something else that the ghee has in it. And it's also the health benefits. Like I said, it improves digestion because of the great stuff it has in terms of for gut health, because it helps soothe the digestive tract. So as we eat, this is actually helping us digest our food as we eat our food. So that helps. Like I said, it's really good for skin health. And so that's also because of the omega-3s, that's great for our skin as well. And it's moisturizing. It's very moisturizing, so we can use that. And it's high vitamin content. It's the great thing about this is the immune support that it has. So it's any herbs that we use in our cooking that also are going to aid us in our health. When you use them with ghee is like a carrier oil. It carries those herbs and spices into our body, and then that helps aid the benefits of the herbs, and also the ghee is also doing its job too inside the body. So the two things are working in tandem, the herbs and spices as well as the ghee. And the ghee does not change in constitution in any way. It doesn't become less potent, and as well as it's helping carry the nutrients, carry the herbs and spices in. And what else? Like I said, brain health, because of the short chain fatty acids are going to help, beneficial for brain and health and cognitive function. So that's when I discussed about neurodegenerative disease. That is excellent. Somebody's saying something. Harmon says, I cook with ghee. Yeah, with the kids. Nice. Really good. Thinking of switching my clients that I cook. Yeah, onto ghee. Yeah, Lizzie. For sure. Like I said, it's just one other thing, right, to use. Let's see, are we still on here? Yeah, we're still on. I'm actually going to turn this up because it's really gone down a little bit, so I don't want to... This Instant Pot, it took me years to get it out of the box because I used to be afraid of it. I don't know if anybody else felt like that, but I never used to cook with it. I just used to cook on the stovetop and in the oven. And then I tried to sell this even, and then nobody was buying it. It was brand new. One day I finally kind of cracked and said, okay, you know what, too much. So it told me that I reached my time limit anyway. So the ghee is like, so I've just turned it up a little bit because I want it to cook a little bit more, because the froth is going to start frothing up more. Ghee, how long does it last? It can last a long time. You don't even have to keep it in the fridge. You can keep it out. You can keep it out with the rest of your oils. Like I have it in the cupboard with the other oils, the olive oil and the coconut oil. And so those are my 3 oils that I use pretty much every day. And yeah, this is just something you can just keep in your cupboard. You don't even have to put it in the fridge. And because when you do start using it, you're going to find you're going to go through it. You're going to go through it pretty fast, like depending on how often you use it. And there's no point in keeping it in the fridge. If you want to, you can. There's not a problem at all. But, okay, now it's boiling up a little bit more. Who else is making it? Is there anybody else making it right now? Is it just me? Okay, here we go. It's boiling up now. Okay, I do have some other things that I wanted to discuss. We talked about that. How long can it be kept? Bone health. Yes. Bone health it's really good for bone health in a couple of different ways. It has calcium in it, so that's great for bone health. And there's phosphorus in it too. And in terms of the lubricating quality of ghee when we eat it, which is also great for our insides as well, because we're lubricating our insides. So especially for our older generation, older people who have now having onset of, there's some bone density issues, there's some arthritic issues. This having ghee in our diet is really good for helping lubricate the insides. Not yet. I will make it though. Thanks for the nudge. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, don't be afraid to make it at home. And I do want to talk about that, like the cost benefit to making it at home. Also, the healthy fats in ghee, the last thing I want to talk about is the fact that they play a great role in hormonal health and hormone production. So excellent for that, and especially for women of menopausal years, which when we know we are definitely in a deficit. So excellent combination to use ghee. Now, there is some considerations to use ghee, and one of them would be to use it in moderation, which I discussed that earlier. Use it alongside the other oils, like use it as part of your toolbox in your kitchen. And because it's high in fat and calories, it can, you might, if you overdo it, just like anything else, it can, cause some overweight. You can have some, help weight gain and things like that. If you're not, wanting that, then yes, definitely use it in moderation. I also mentioned the lactose intolerance. So if someone is lactose intolerant, this is quite okay. It's quite good for you. You're not going to have the sore, upset stomach or anything like that. And, just use it as a, like I said, one of the tools in your kitchen toolbox of ingredients. I did have some other points that I wanted to bring up. Okay, mine is looking really good right now. And while this is really boiling up, I've got Lizzie online, and Lizzie is one of my Shakti sisters. She's also online right now, and Lizzie is actually a chef by trade. And so Lizzie, am I doing a good job right now? Because I felt like you're watching me. So Lizzie is one of my Shakti sisters who was graduate of the school, and she's a chef as well by trade. And Lizzie is going to be doing a spring cleanse very, very soon. And so thank you, Lizzie. Is going to be doing a really great spring cleanse very soon. So if Lizzie wants to come online and just quickly talk about that while I'm just finishing up this section. Lizzie, did you want to come online and just quickly talk about that? Because the cleanse, spring cleanse, this is a great time of year to do a cleanse and just get rid of all your toxins and amas out of your body. Okay, here she is. She's requesting, and I'm going to come over here. Lizzie coming on. Here she is. Hi, Lizzie.
Hello,
Hi,
how
girl.
are you?
I'm good. How are you? We've
Doing
got some
good.
people watching.
Going.
Oh, my cousin just came on. Hi, Seema. My cousin just came on. I'm just going to quickly show what I've got going on right now. So right now, it's like really getting in there. It's really boiling. And I'm just stirring the top part. I'm not going right down to the bottom and scraping the bottom because I want all the milk solids to stay on the bottom. So I'm not doing that. I'm just doing a general, stirring the pot. Okay, Lizzie, go. Lizzie is my Shakti sister, like I said, and Lizzie, talk about what you're about to do,
Yes,
please.
so thank you, by the way, for like letting me come on and like plug a little bit. But also like I'm having so much fun just making ghee in the kitchen with you. It's really I'm loving it. So thank
Good.
you. So yeah, so I'm gonna be doing it's a 3-week program that I'm offering. It's over that 3 week you're going to have like not an integration, sorry, like a preparatory phase, so like a preparation week, an active cleanse week, and then an integration week that also has So the first week I'm going to end up sending like the recipes that I'm going to go with, that kind of down to like some teas, kitchery, any accompaniments that want to go in there. We'll get all of those with a grocery list so that you can go out and buy what you need, so you can do it in your own home. And I've paired it with what I call it like pairing it with shadow work. So whilst you're going through the whole 3 weeks, you have like it's a journal that I guess I've made that has a different prompt every day to really help you do the like emotional cleansing that comes along with a spring cleanse. So it goes into like your attitudes towards food, and maybe if you obtained them from a childhood perspective or from your parents, like really getting deep into like the cravings or any like disordered eating, I guess. Like what is it that you feel around food to enable you to like reframe how you look at nourishment and like nourishing your body. So in that I'm gonna have like an opening ceremony, a closing ceremony, and a like a midpoint check-in so that you can like what's coming up for you, you know. Because things will arrive to the surface.
So just to like reiterate, when we're doing a spring cleanse, like you can give us a couple of benefits of doing a cleanse, Ayurveda style,
Mm-hmm.
at the time of year to do the cleanse, because you know there's twice a year that we can do a cleanse,
Yes.
and from an Ayurvedic perspective, the cleanse is not just about the food. It's not just clearing the body. It's not just clearing the toxins out of the body. Ayurveda, because it's holistic based, it's clearing your heart, your mind, your soul. Like you're literally doing a lot of different things within the cleanse, as well as the body of the food, like the nutrient aspect of it too, like the food and nutrition. And it's also the nutrition of your brain and your heart and all of that, right? So if you can just touch base on a couple of benefits of doing the cleanse and like the time of year to do this, you know,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say?
Well, like when you think of spring, it's like this energetic of like renewal and kind of a casting out. It's that you do all your spring cleaning, you get your spring and summer attire out from your closet because you want to dress differently than the winter. Like there's those kind of like energetics that come with spring, and with autumn as well. There's like a releasing kind of energy, should we say again.
Hmm.
So it's very much tied to that, and that's
Hmm.
that really like made me kind of get into. I tried to do I did like a really small self-led cleansing last autumn
Hmm.
with my friends,
Yeah,
and
I was there.
yeah,
We did that,
it,
didn't we? We
it
did that
was,
together in the fall.
yes. And I like, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of like, I do have like a history of disordered eating and not having very good attitude towards giving my body what it needs. And I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people do. I think especially women,
Mm-hmm.
um, they don't. We have this like societal issue of like our weight and how there's so many fad diets out there.
Mm-hmm.
Doing That's why I wanted my cleanse to be very, very gentle. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to sign up onto this like idea that you're gonna like use it for a bunch of weight loss, and like that's not just not
Mm-hmm. No,
or
it's way more than that. It's way more than that.
exactly. And
Okay,
it go
can I just interrupt really quickly? My like froth is like going right up, so I'm actually just gonna switch that off right now because it's like I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is how it's at right now. It's like it's actually become really, really well. It's literally made now. So I'm just waiting for the froth to die down a little bit. How's yours looking, Lizzie?
I've still got a little layer of froth on top going,
Okay.
but
Mine,
yeah.
I think I may have just cooked it a little bit too much because I was busy talking. So it's going to be a little bit more of a nutty flavor. This is what I was going to say. So if you end up overcooking it, it's okay. It just becomes a little bit more nutty. And if you keep it like, oh gosh, yeah, mine is nutty. Sorry, Liz. It's, I'll redo it. But if you're watching it and making sure that then it's definitely going to be a little bit of a lighter um, color. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm taking it out of the pot right now. Look how high up it's gone. So yeah, that's gone pretty high. Take it out of the pot. I'm going to switch this off over here. I'm going to move this. I told you, everyone, like this is like, live. Technical issues may arise. So bear with me. Everyone's so good, like to bear with me. Okay, Lizzie, I'm going to just I have to go on to the is there anything else you wanted to share? Like
Um,
go on
yeah.
Lizzie's can you tell them what your account is? And she's got a great account.
Okay, so I'm Lilyput's Alchemy. I'll like comment in the live feed so people can just like find where I am. And if you just want to message me, if you've got a little bit of a pink, like a perk of interest over the cleanse and like what it can do for your life, then just pop me a message.
Yeah.
I will continue
Thanks, Lizzie.
making tea with you. Thank you, Neelam.
No problem. So I think you have to log
I
out
will.
now. Do you have to end? Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right, so that was Lizzie and like fellow Brit. So you know how us fellow Brits stick together somewhat. Okay, the ghee is like all the froth has gone down. So I don't know if I can show you what it looks like. It looks like that right now. Super hot, and it is quite dark, but it's going to lighten up once it goes into the pan. And like all of the liquid, all of the froth, the froth is literally dissipated, so that, like I said, that was the water, so that's gone. And what I'm going to attempt to do is like I have this strainer, so I'm going to try and do this twice. I'm going to strain it into the jar, and then I'm going to try and strain it again. But because it's super super hot right now, I don't want to do it right now. I'm going to wait a couple of minutes and just kind of leave it off to the side. um Underneath the pot, it's pretty dark down there. Can you see that? Can you see how dark it is there? It shouldn't be that dark, but it can be. Lizzie's put her thing there. Lily put alchemy. So that's what it looks like down at the bottom. That's all the milk solids. Okay. And then the ghee is up on top. And see how a lot of it's disappeared because of the water content. That's why I always say, like, that's what I'm saying. Do two pounds of butter. Um, would anybody else does anybody else have anything that they would like to ask right now? I don't know who else is making ghee, or who else, who send me a heart, who wants to make ghee. Who didn't think that they're going to make some? People are thinking, oh, we got some hearts. People are going to make some ghee. Good. I'm glad. This is what I wanted to say. This is what I wanted to say about the butter, um, about making it at home as opposed to buying it from the store. Just like how people buy olive oil or coconut oil. I'm very careful with the type of coconut oil I buy. Make sure it's organic. I make sure it's in a glass jar. Olive oil also same thing. I make sure it's a dark glass. I make sure it's from a reputable source. I don't just go for something that's on sale. I try to be more discerning about what I'm doing with that. And the same thing with ghee. With ghee, be very careful when you're at the store. My first recommendation is to buy it in a glass jar. Don't buy it in plastic. The least amount of plastic you can bring into your home, the better. And in terms of the food grade plastic that we have that stores the ghee at the stores, we don't know how long that ghee's been in there. We don't know what type of plastic that is. It's usually a very thin plastic. And we don't know what temperatures it's been at, what it's done to the ghee inside. So that's the first thing. I would prefer, like, if you bought the ghee from the store, buy it in a glass container over plastic, and also buy something that's very reputable. Um, if you want to buy grass fed, you can. The thing that I've researched about grass fed is that um, it can say grass fed, and it could literally mean that there's a trough with some grass clippings and the cows are brought out from inside and they've just been, just go and just have nibble on a bit of grass clippings, and then they go back and they feed them the regular whatever they were going to feed them, corn or whatever. They're not going to, doesn't mean they're out in the pasture feeding on grass all day. That's not what grass fed means. It depends on if you're going to go local, buying from a local like supplier, do that. If you're in the Oakville area, a friend of mine makes her own ghee, Angie's Golden Ghee. I follow her, and I can put her in the comments afterwards as well. She makes her own ghee and she sells it. It's her little passion on the side, so she makes her own ghee. And the other thing is the ghee that you do make at home, once you do this, it's like pretty straightforward. You can have a cup of tea and just whip up a little batch of ghee. And you could probably do that once a month. You don't need to do it like every week. So that's what I would suggest. And like I said, then at that point, you can use the butter that you buy from the store. You can go and get unsalted butter. The best type of butter to get is unsalted. And then you can, at that point, if you want to get grass-fed butter or you want to get a higher quality butter from the store, you can do that and then make it yourself at home. But like I said, if you do want to buy it from the store, just keep those few things in mind. Try and buy it in a glass bottle or glass jar. Try and buy as local as you can. And don't worry if it says grass fed or it doesn't say grass fed. I wouldn't worry about that part, because unless you're really researching the company and watching what they're doing, how they are, getting those cows to produce that milk, if they are actually feeding them grass in a pasture, that's one thing. But most times they're not doing that. So, that's what I wanted to say about that. So in terms of this, it's cooling down. All of the froth is pretty much gone. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this into the bigger jar. So, gosh, it's kind of scary doing this live with hot oil. So this is not actually even the right size. So what I might even do is, actually, that's pretty okay now. Can you guys see this? See this? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to try. Like, obviously, it would help if I had an extra pair of hands, but I'm going to do it like this because I'm right-handed. And I'm just going to try and pour into here. And the reason I'm using the sieve is just if there's any remnants of the froth or the milk solids end up coming out, I'm going to just do that. So not much, I didn't get much out of there. Like there's not much remnants left, or broth, or oh, right to the tippy top. Is great. Little bit of the milk solids came because we're starting to come. I'll show you what I've got here in the bottom of this pan. This is how it looks. See, there's a little bit down there. And this is pretty warm, but this is how it looks. So that was the first time around with the strainer. And I can go ahead and strain it one more time if I wanted to. So I'm just going to let it cool down a little bit more because it is quite warm. And if you can see at the top, there is a little bit of froth there, and I can just get a teaspoon and just take some of that off, because that's actually probably from the boiling, because a lot of it did come off. So that was from I wouldn't even call that anything. So what I will do is I will definitely strain this one more time, and I'm not going to put the lid on it yet or anything because it's too hot. It's definitely too hot to put this on, so that's going to trap moisture in. So I'm just going to let this cool down like this in the jar. And I don't want to store it for too long in the pot itself. Like I didn't want to keep it in there because the sediments in there, and as this oil as the ghee was going to be in there, the sediment might start, getting loose again and going back into the ghee. So I didn't want that either. So that's why I did transfer it over as quickly as I could. Um, so that's literally it. Like I said, this is the cheesecloth. So if you are to use cheesecloth, all what you would do is you would put this on top of the jar like that, right? You could put an elastic here and just loosen it a little bit and then just pour it into here and pour it into here so this fills up. So I might even do that afterwards, right? But you can make this as just to strain every last little bit of sediment of the milk solids or anything like that. That's excellent too. So if you don't have a metal strainer, because look, this metal strainer, a little bit of sediment came out on the bottom, but not too much. It was pretty good. And some people use this and this. So I could have done that too. But I only have one pair of hands here, so I didn't want to cause a scene. Anyway, that's super hot right now. So that is how you make ghee, and this is going to cool down. As it cools down, it's going to get lighter, and it's going to turn into, like I said, this color right here. This is how it's going to look afterwards. It might look a tad darker than this because, like I said, did go a little bit longer with this. So this is how it's going to look, and this is the consistency. And I'm going to show you with a spoon how it actually looks when you take it out. It's like this. It's quite soft, and there's going to be little granules in it, and that's okay. Don't worry about the little tiny granules that you might find. But like I said, it has to be a dry spoon. And I put this in my cupboard. So like this is how much I use in my coffee in the mornings, about this much. This is a little teaspoon or less than a teaspoon. So that's what I use. And that's it really. And this I made this about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I had I made a big pot of it, and this was the second pot that I had in the fridge downstairs. So I took it back out. So this is like my second part of the 2 pounds of ghee that I had made a few weeks ago. And so that's it. I've been talking for so long. Um, Watching a thriller. Yeah, it was. It was like a thriller. How is she going to spill something? What's going to happen next? Do you use a teaspoon for your coffee? Yeah, I put a teaspoon in my coffee. I take a teaspoon of ghee, I put it at the bottom of my cup, and then the coffee drips in, and then the ghee melts, and I stir it around, and then I add my little bit of cream, and it's delicious, absolutely delicious. And then I do my abhyanga. I go upstairs and do my abhyanga. I'm not ever going to show you what an abhyanga is. That's self massage with oil. It's beautiful, really nice part of my morning. But yeah, so that's my little morning routine. Part of that is the teaspoon of ghee in the coffee. Um, Amy was wishing you luck. Thank you. All the good vibes were coming this way to help me pour this. Anyway, guys and ladies and gents, I don't know, is there anything else that you would like to ask me? Yes, Luz, try it in your coffee. Um, I hope that was informative. I hope there was enough information, and I really, I encourage you to try ghee in your cooking and in your nourishing ways, in your nourishing of your body. So have a great rest of the day. And what time is it? Wow, it's nearly an hour. Oh my gosh. Okay, so thank you. Thanks, Lizzie, for coming on. You go check out her site, her account. It's beautiful. She has lots of great information about Ayurveda as well. And Lizzie, yes, I do. I have, I did mention her. Her name's Angie. Angie Rahal is a friend, and she lives in Oakville, and she has her own small business saying Angie's Golden Ghee. It's called Angie's Golden Ghee. So she does do local delivery here. But you know, if you went online and looked, there's actually a lot of great places. There's people across like BC. There's actually a really great company in BC that have made making their own making ghee to sell, like independent suppliers. There's some really, really good people out there who know that, you know, there's a process, and you know, not many people can do this. And it's a little bit, you know, it can be intimidating. So, you know, if you are going to buy ghee, I would recommend just maybe doing a little bit more research and going with an independent or a small business and just getting a jar ordered to your home and trying it out and see what you think, you know? And when you feel comfortable making it, you make it. And there's tons of YouTube videos and tons of like resources online of how to make your own ghee at home. So it's not difficult at all. It's just a matter of getting in the kitchen. If you're already comfortable in the kitchen, it's not a problem. But you know, for people who are not comfortable in the kitchen, yes, I can see where this could be a little bit, you know, kind of daunting. But you know, you don't know until you try, right? And so that with that, I will say goodbye and have a great rest of the day. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.